Hey, so if you're going through a spiritual awakening, an awakening of any kind, stick with me. So I received, first of all, let me just say this. I personally thought that a spiritual awakening and spirituality and doing things in the spiritual realm was something that I always did. Well, not always did, but have worked up to doing, I guess, in my in my pursuit of God, in my pursuit of finding peace of mind and happiness and flow and understanding about where I am, where I'm going, who I am, and things of that, and whose I am. Um, I have been pursuing God, whether it be, in the very early stages, going to different conferences for, personal development. My pastor was a very good teacher. So she was a New Thought teacher, and you can look up New Thought. It goes back to people like Dr. Joseph Murphy and people of that, Catherine Ponder, things of that nature. They all taught in the New Thought. They were all New Thought teachers, as well as prosperity and things of that nature. And so, one thing that I did not realize is that there's levels to this. There's real levels. So, I really have, up until this point, or up until a couple of years ago, thought that I was good. Right. And so, I had a great morning routine and I felt really close to God and I felt like we had a really good relationship and things of that nature. But what I didn't realize was that there were things that were still going on in my life, or things that had gone on like a long, long, long time ago, that needed to be dealt with in the spiritual realm. Okay, in the spiritual realm, things that needed to be forgiven, forgotten, shifted and changed, and all kinds of things that I had not even really thought about. And so, fast forward, the reason why I am a mentor, the reason why I am a coach, and things of that nature is not only because I've done work over the years. We're going, way back to the early, not the early, but the mid 2000s, or whatever the case may be, after my daughter passed and after I got to a place where I didn't want to feel the way that I was feeling. I didn't want to uh, be angry or negative or combative or any of those things. Like, and I think anytime that you want to change anything about yourself, it takes a while. It doesn't happen overnight. And I think, unfortunately, in our society nowadays, some of us, not all of us, think that everything is supposed to happen like this, and it doesn't. um, and so I have been coaching and mentoring people for a while. Some, early on for free, and also paid, obviously. And one thing that I can say is that everyone comes to this point. Everyone comes to this point where they're doing work and they're questioning, like, what is it? Like, what's going on? Like, I thought that I was good, and things of that nature. And I think that that's always a good thing, because that's an indication that you are moving from one level to the next, or one phase to the next, or whatever you want to call it. And so the other day, I was simply asked by someone who has been doing the work on themselves and has been transitioning and moving through all of these different energies that are taking place, and was just really trying to figure out why they can't, like, keep it together. In other words, um, oh, I'm going to do this and then not doing it, or I want to start, um, I don't know, journaling or meditating, and maybe they do it once and they don't complete it or whatever. And the thing that really I think it's just like thinking that you're in one spot, but you're actually are, but you don't feel like you are, because of the way that your ways of being your ways of thinking, and some of the things that you're doing. And I think a lot of people really need to understand is that we are going through a lot of different energies. There's a lot of different energies going on. And there have been for a while, and there always are. The planets are shifting, the moon, the sun, the stars, the seasons, all of those things contribute to how we feel. And I think that, for the most part, a lot of people are not really, there's a segment of us that are not thinking in that way. And so I think that she felt like she was doing all of these things, and it's like, why? What is going on? And one of the things that I really wanted to let her know, first of all, is that you're doing great. You could be miles ahead of some people, and you could be, minutes ahead of others. It doesn't really matter. It's really what um, your personal journey is. But at the end of the day, if you are, if you feel like you are talking to God and asking questions, and, you know, doing your meditations, you're getting out in nature, and you're doing all of the things that you feel are what it is that you need to do. The first thing that I always tell people is to just simply ask. Simply ask what is going on. Like, God, hey, it's me. Can you tell me, like, how am I doing? Is anything, if am I doing something wrong? I feel a little bit confused. I feel like I start stuff, but I don't finish it. I feel like I'm really, really passionate about stuff, and then it just like dies down and I totally forget it, or it just goes away, or I start doing something else. What is this? Like, what is going on? And the reason why I was able to answer this question is because I've been in this space. I've been in this space where I really, really felt like I knew what I was doing, and I knew where I was going, and I knew what to do and how to do it and all that stuff. And then, like, the next day I woke up and I was doing something totally different. Like, that whole thought process was gone. It is crazy. But one of the things that I realized also is that we're moving through like a process of old and new, old and new, old and new. And sometimes there are things that are coming up that um, we just need to be patient with ourselves. We just need to, maybe even ask, help me with this. Like, what am I moving through? What am I going through? What would you have me do? Where will you have me go? What would you have me say? And it's also a thing of being really, really patient with yourself, because you know that if it's confusion and if it's like not quite, it's not quite clear and concise, and it's probably not of God. It's probably part of something that you're moving through. It's probably not of God. And it's not of something that you should be doing, because it doesn't stick, right? It's not like, yes, you were excited about it the other day, but now you're like in a whole nother, like you've totally forgotten about that. Don't don't beat yourself up because of that. Just try your best, not even to figure it out. Because me personally, when things are confusing and I don't know what is going on, I'm just asking God. I'm just, God, please help me figure out what is going on with me. I was passionate about this thing yesterday, and today I've totally forgotten about it and I'm doing something else. I wanted to write in my journal, and I wanted to start, journaling, and I haven't even picked the book up. Or I picked the book up and I can't write in it, or whatever the case may be. Give yourself grace and favor, because the thing about it is the work that you're doing is unique to you, and it is your personal path, and everything is not going to be the way that we think that it's going to be. Like, oh, okay, I got an idea. Because there are things that we still may be moving through. There are still things that we may be fighting between the old us, like our old habits, and our new habits. There's so many things, so many reasons. And I think that Being still and being quiet is where the answers come from. Being still and being quiet is where the answers come from. A spiritual awakening is work. It's work. It is releasing who you used to be and becoming new. And in that, and there's a lot of, there's a lot of releasing who you used to be and becoming new, right? But um, the reason why I talk about building a relationship with God and having a relationship with God and cultivating a relationship with God and, you know, um, morning routines and things of that nature is because when you're in these type of situations, you can surrender. You can surrender and say, hey, I'm not really sure what is taking place right now, but can you help me, please? Can you please help me? Send me a sign, send me a signal. Get in your journal and start writing out like how you're feeling. One of the things that I can say and that I can attest to is that my journals, because I have boxes of them at this point, my journals have been part of my therapy sessions. If there's things that I'm going through or things that I'm feeling, whether I'm mad, sad, happy, whatever, well, the mad ones are going in a dump journal. That's something separate because I don't want the bad and the good inside of my journal. Um, but that's a whole nother story within itself. I think I have a video about that. I can't remember. But anyway, um, yeah, so I just really wanted to answer the question out loud on video because maybe someone else is feeling the same way. Maybe someone else is wondering where all of this confusion is coming from, like in your internal confusion, not even the outside, but your internal confusion is coming from. And the first thing that I would do, I know that I said ask, but really the first thing that I would do would be to surrender. And with surrendering comes those questions and asking. You are surrendering to God and asking Him to help you through whatever it is that you're going through. And you are practicing, I guess what you would want to call it, like self-care, practicing the care that you need so that you can move through this time, this space that you're in. And so making sure that you have that quiet time so that you can either speak how are you feeling, write how you're feeling, pray about how you're feeling. And it just does wonders for you when you take time for yourself and really hone in to your feelings and emotions and giving it away, like saying that you are going to surrender, saying whatever it is that you want to say, or writing it out, however it is that you want to communicate it. And then resting in that, doing some deep breathing. You know, if you are feeling fluttered and, all over the place, do something about it. Don't just talk about it and talk about it to other people. Do something about it for yourself. In other words, I don't care if you go to the bathroom. I don't care if you go get in your car. Do something to care for yourself, care for your feelings, care for your emotions, your anxiety, whatever it is that you're feeling. Breathing does so much. So I think I went on longer than I wanted to because I can get rambling, but yeah, just finding time to not question so much, not try to control the situation, not try to do more when what you were trying to do was not working, and just flow, and just surrender and know that your answers are coming. If they don't come today, maybe they'll come tomorrow. Who knows? Maybe it's a time for you to rest, and resting your mind more so than anything. Not overthinking or trying to overdo or anything like that. And definitely not beating yourself up for not being where you think that you should be, because unbeknownst to you, you're doing a great job. You're doing an excellent job. You are where you're supposed to be. And when you look back at this day, you'll be like, oh, girl, I was tripping or whatever. So, excuse me. So I just wanted to say that spiritual awakening is a very precious thing. But I think that it sounds really great. But there's definitely work that needs to take place inside of that personal container between you and God. And I pray that anything that I've said has helped anyone else besides the person that I was talking to the other day. So thank you so much for listening to me. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Why not? I've got all kinds of things to talk about. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you later. Okay.